Hello, hello.
Hey Pat.
How you doing? I like your slide there.
I know you like my opening card there.
Yeah, it's a little bit the reversal.
I know. I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah, it's an Instagram thing, right?
I know, right? We'll get it eventually. Old dogs, new tricks. We're getting
Yeah,
there.
that's us.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. It's Where Does It Go Wednesday, and thank you for joining us for I believe, is it the fourth edition now, Pat, of
Before.
Ask Evelyn? So I thought I would bring. We talked about Evelyn at the beginning. For those of you who
Right?
remember or don't remember, Ask Evelyn is Evelyn the envelope. You guys would send her questions and we would answer them. And now you get us. So thanks for joining us. I'm Becca Fong and I do residential outreach on recycling, composting, and garbage for Seattle Public Utilities. And I'm joined with.
I'm Pat Kaufman. I'm the commercial recycling and composting program manager for Seattle Public Utilities.
All right. So if any of you guys were here again, it's Where Does It Go Wednesday and Ask Evelyn. So we're here to answer folks' questions. We have two really good questions this week. And one is going to be talking about plastic film and plastic bags. We've had some changes recently, and then people are seeing a lot more of that stuff at their house as we're getting mail order things. And then we'll also talk about those of you who are at home and have the just exciting gumption to like tackle all the junk that is
Yeah,
hanging in the recesses of your house. What are your options for dealing with that stuff while you are home, other than building a stuff fort to hide in?
and then a lot
So
of that kind of stuff too. So
yeah, we got a lot of that stuff. So again, if you guys have questions, feel free to send them to askevelyn@seattle.gov. You can, of course, put them in the comments here, and we may not get to them today, but we will definitely get to them in the future. You can also send them through direct message on Facebook and Twitter as well. So, Pat, when we were talking a little bit earlier, we had a really great article come up this week.
yeah, we did. We had a little recycling highlight this week in Pacific Northwest Magazine. Again, I wish I had a mirror so I could show you the reverse of this, but it says "Been there, done that," and it was a great article. It had a lot of good information about how the material flows around Seattle. It was really a King County wide view on how things are going, the challenges with the global marketplace for recyclables, the benefits of having some awesome recycling companies right here in Seattle. We have Nucor Steel in West Seattle. We have the glass recycling facility down in Sodo. So we have a lot of great local, domestic, as we say, recycling options. So some great pictures, some great information. I think it's worth a look if folks want to take a look back at the Pacific Northwest Magazine Seattle Times piece.
Okay, can you give me the Cliff Notes version? What are the take-home messages from that article?
Well, for the most part, it was nice. They highlighted some local leaders in the recycling industry, and they talked to Heather Trim, who's the executive director of Waste Not Washington, or Zero Waste Washington.
Waste Washington, yeah.
Zero Waste Washington. And she's right at saying, look, it's a shared situation. It's the manufacturers and how they're making products nowadays. It's the consumers and how we're managing our products, whether we're keeping it clean, recycle right. And then it's also the cities and the recycling companies and the way in which the mills deal with the recyclables. So it's a shared challenge, and there's room for everybody to make some improvements. But overall, it was a positive article that left things really in everybody's hands. Like if you want to keep it going and keep it working, you got to do it right.
Cool. I didn't get all the way through it. I did look. The pictures are fantastic.
Yeah.
I really feel like if anybody wants to know more, which if you're watching our Instagram live on Ask Evelyn, you probably want to learn more. But the pictures are spectacular to understand how our metal is recycled, how our glass is recycled. They really did get kind of behind the scenes in a lot of those facilities. Those are images that the public wouldn't normally see, which were pretty cool. So I think
Yeah, we get to. Sorry, what?
Oh, I think you can see it online at Seattle Times.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's online. It's nice, being in the industry, we get to go on tours of these facilities every couple of years. We get a chance to go to the glass plant or the steel plant or, down to a paper mill, like the one they highlighted in Longview, Washington, and been to all these locations. And it's great getting a walkthrough tour.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even let you take pictures on a tour. So it's nice to have some photos
Yeah.
to show and tell.
Yeah, I know for Nucor for sure you don't get to
Yeah.
take pictures there, but really
Industry,
cool.
yeah, industry secrets or
Yeah.
there. So first question up this week came to us from Ricky. He says, Dear Evelyn, I know that plastic bags, those Amazon plastic mailers and bubble wrap can't go in the recycle at home anymore. So now, what do I do with them and why did it change? So good question. There's a lot of plastic out there. There's bags, there's wraps on everything. There's plastic film everywhere. And first we'll talk about why it changed, right? We'll talk about what folks need to expect, but why it changed. I mean, in 2009, Seattle Public Utilities had a new contract, a new collection contract, a new processing contract. And at that time, the guidelines expanded for recyclables and we added bagged plastic bags, right?
Right.
This is
I remember that. Yep.
what we encourage folks to do. We listed just a couple items. These are things that, you know, are no longer allowed in the blue cart, no longer allowed in the recycle cart. But at the time we tried it, you know, it was a commodity that the recycling industry said we can take it, we have markets for it, it can be recycled. It's just that it doesn't work well in the commingled system. If everybody were to bag their bags like this and tie off the top and, you know, really do it well, that'd be great. But instead, we end up with, you know, a whole bunch of bags all over the place. And that's when they get caught in the gears and the machinery at the recycle center. And so the benefit of the collection of plastic film via that program was not solid enough to outweigh the cost of it. So the cost-benefit ratio didn't work out. We tried it for about 10 years and it just didn't work out. I know you on the residential side, you've had this conversation many times with folks about this.
Yeah. And it's tough. I mean, a lot of folks are like, man, I really want to be able to recycle this. And I think the points that you brought up is that we tried it, it doesn't sort well, and it's not, you know, it's not a commodity that recyclers are really looking for to take either. We talk a lot about empty, clean, and dry for our recyclables. And if you think about a lot of those plastic bags, some of them sure come around like dry cleaning and newspapers and the wrap on your toilet paper. But a lot of it is also bread bags and produce bags. And we actually never said that those were acceptable because there's food residue, there's moisture. Those are also contaminants, just period, in the recycling stream.
Right.
So that's another complication to it. And I think one thing that's been interesting is, you know, it's also made the messaging a little clearer that no plastic bags should go in the recycling. You know, similarly, a lot of folks bag their recyclables just in a bag instead of just loose in a container in their house. And those are really problematic for the same reasons you were just talking about. They tangle in the machines. It's really hard when they get to the facility to understand, is that a bag of trash? Is it actually a bag of recyclables? It's not very safe for the workers to tear those open and find out what's inside. So I think no plastic bags, period, in the recycle cart is a much easier thing for people to remember. Absolutely. And we have a lot to think about these days. So
yeah, and we're pushing that message pretty hard these days in our outreach materials. The idea of, you know, not bagging your recyclables, let alone not bagging your bags. So no plastic bags at all in the recycle cart or bin or dumpster, whatever your home has. Some folks in multifamily and condos and apartments have dumpsters that they put their recycles in. So not always the blue cart, but I kind of shorthand use the blue cart as where it all goes. And I would say that, you know, like you were saying, the black plastic bags, those are especially problematic for extra recyclables. When people put out extra recyclables, sometimes they feel they need to bag them, and it's better to put them in a box or a bin or something alongside your recycle card. So what can you do with this material? Well, all these materials, even like little bubble wrap or plastic wrapping that this came around a pillow I think we got. These materials can all be bagged together. Like, look at that one prop I have. There it is. So you can do this with them. You can bag them. This is a newspaper bag, of course. You can take your dry cleaning bag and put it in there, and you just shove it in and tie it off, and then you would take it back to a participating drop-off site. And there are many of those. There are grocery stores who do this. You just want to tie it off good and put this in your car. Like when you are going shopping, you take your bags with you, and they usually have a tub or a bin at the front entrance where the grocery carts are, and you can put your plastic film, plastic wrap, plastic bags in there. But just like our guidelines, their guidelines are going to be similar. They got to be clean. They have to be dry. They don't want receipts in there, a bunch of strapping or tape. If you get plastic like this from a mail order product, look at all of the labels and look at you can kind of pick up maybe the shine of the tape. This thing is covered in tape. And so that piece, I mean, I might be able to get some of that plastic off, but most of that is just going to go in the garbage because
Right.
toast. I mean, it's just not, it's no good. Nobody wants it. So got to be thoughtful about even plastic film recycling.
Totally. And I think, is it plasticfilmrecycling.org? If I didn't get that
Yes.
right, go to our Where Does It Go tool and look up plastic bags, and it'll have a link to the website that has the list of stores. You know, things are really different now, so I would look at that list to see if it's updated. And, you know, hopefully stores are still taking them right now. Everybody's got a lot going on and a lot on their mind. If you do have a lot of those plastic bags, I would, you know, recommend either hanging on to them, or if they're just completely intolerable at your house, you can put them in the trash.
Yes, they're allowed and accepted in the garbage. It's not a high value commodity. It's not in the blue cart anymore. It's a take back program, and you're right, it is plasticfilmrecycling.org. That is the
Okay.
website.
Thanks, Pat.
You just go in there, you punch in your zip code, and it'll bring up a whole list of stores, you know, closest to you. They may be right by your house, or they might be down the road a ways, but there are definitely many stores in the Seattle area and King County area that accept them.
Totally. I know for those of you who are in West Seattle, the Target at Westwood takes them, or at least they did, you know, a couple of weeks ago. So if you are so inclined in heading to Target, but stay home. Don't go unless you have to.
That's right.
So,
Stay home, stay healthy.
stay home, stay healthy, please. So question 2. So all of us have been at home. So this is kind of along those lines. And this question comes from one of our lovely customers, Aline. And she says, Dear Evelyn, while I've been at home, I started cleaning stuff out of my place. I've got clothes, I got paperwork, I've got random house stuff like dishes, and I even found an old computer in the closet. Some of it's good, but the places that I usually take it are closed. And then there's kind of the broken stuff. Can I just put that in the garbage? So really good questions. There's kind of a lot to that. So I think that a lot of folks, including myself, have been kind of, you know, you're trapped in your home, let's be honest here. And you have finally noticed, like, wow, I've accumulated a lot of things. Why do I have so much stuff? And it's making me kind of crazy. So a lot of folks have kind of started gathering a lot of those things up and being like, wow, I really don't need this. And I wanted to leave my house really, really badly. So I think that some of the, and of course, the thrift stores are not open right now. You know, Goodwill, Value Village, Northwest Center that would normally do pickups. A lot of those folks are not open. So what we're encouraging folks to do is, I get it. You like look at that pile of whatever in the corner. It's a nightstand. It's a bag of clothes. And you really just want it gone.
Yeah.
If you can hang on to it, please hang on to it. You know, if you can hang on to it until we can get through this, you've been living with it this long, you could probably live with it a little bit longer. But by all means, organize it and put it in a place that's out of the way. Back in the closet, on your bed, in the garage, that would be great. Another really good option, as I wanted to show you some of the random things that are kind of embarrassing, like, why do I have like a dozen spoons, none of which match? Like, I have an entire set that matches. Why do I have these, right? Like, I'll probably hang on to them. Or one thing that I am part of is the Buy Nothing movement on Facebook.
That's right. Yes.
You know, also on Nextdoor, there's lots of social media platforms where folks are putting stuff out. You can do a contactless pickup. You know, I'll post some things online and say, hey, I got a dozen mismatched spoons.
Right.
And some extra loaf pans for all of you who can get your act together. And I have aspirations to be a baker, but I'm never going to get to that. So I put stuff like this on a post and say, hey, you know, if you guys are interested, let me know. I can put it outside on a curb and you are welcome to it. And it's a nice way, because somebody might be missing a dozen mismatched spoons. Yeah. Really want to make some banana bread. Like, I'm your person. I can hook you up. So that's one, those are two things to think about. Hold on to it if you can, or see if you can share it with somebody. Friends and neighbors too. You know, when I'm out walking around, staying away from everybody, but getting some fresh air, you know, you can mention it to folks. Hey, I've got some extra stuff. Come on by and look for it. Two other things that I found similarly. Aline found an old computer. I found some old cell phones in my house. I don't know. Your cell phones?
Yeah, those are.
Those are pretty.
Point, yeah, you'll have to send those off to the recycler at some point.
You will have to send those off. Like, these shouldn't, they are broken, but these shouldn't go in the garbage. These things should be recycled properly. They've got batteries in them. They've got other kinds of materials that are toxic. And I also have an old computer. So what I will do is, we actually have a special item pickup service that will pick it up at the curb, which is great. There we go. Oh, Pat.
Backwards again. We got to get all of our printed material reversed back up. Anyway, yeah.
I know, right?
The Instagram, I need to get a little mirror here so I can show you that this it says on the cart. And so a lot of these services are available.
They are, absolutely. And actually, if you go to seattle.gov/utility/beyond the cart, or seattle.gov/special items. That'll have a whole list of things that we can pick up at your house. We'll pick up phone block for free. We'll pick up electronics. We'll pick up furniture. We'll pick up bulky items. We'll pick up, what else we got on there, Pat? We got refrigerators.
Yeah.
We'll pick up a lot of that stuff. So that's great,
I just want to throw in a couple of comments on that. Right now, it's good for folks to clear their house and keep things, organized and efficient and such. But as much as you can hold on to things for the time being, that would be good. I think the additional requests from the utility of the hauling companies is a bit much. I know our stations are in a limited hours setup right now. They're closed on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays to self-haul customers. There's staffing issues that we want to be aware of. So we do want folks to, it's great that everybody has all this time at home and they're tidying up and they're identifying things they really don't want to keep around the house anymore. But it'd be great if people can just hold on to them a little longer, wait till things start to open up again, wait for some of these services like thrift, whether it's Goodwill or Value Village or, any one of the various thrift supported outfits out there, to work with them, because we really want to divert things as much as we can to folks who can use them to create jobs and create training programs and come back and turn back around to give them to somebody who wants them. So please don't put these reusable items in your garbage at this time just because it's the easy option. Look for the reusable path in the future.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah. I did have, let's see, did I get all of Eileen's stuff? So she's got some clothes. I think those are also really good things to share with folks. Yeah. Paperwork, you can certainly recycle that. I found like 10 years worth of bank statements at my house. So I tore off all the account numbers and I put those in the recycle, and that actually felt pretty good. There are a few things that can go in the trash, though you're right, most of that reusable stuff not, but I did, at least at my house, I found like some chipped dishes, some broken glasses. Yeah, those things don't go in the recycling, those things go into the garbage, but there are very things.
Yeah, our recycle right is like, empty, clean, and dry. Right. Reuse right is another thing. I mean, don't give a broken radio to Goodwill. That's not helping. Don't give a dish that's just got such a terrible chip on it that they're not going to be able to resell it. Dishware is one of their, it's one of the items they really try as best as they can to move through their system, but there's a lot of it. So, yeah, if it's damaged, it's probably not going to make it through the process.
Right. And I have kind of liked being able to share stuff with my neighbors, like my loaf pans, which are fantastic. Like, these are nice. Which is probably why I've held on to them.
They are nice.
But, somebody's going to probably want them. Like someone in my neighborhood, will probably be like, hey, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I could totally use those. And being able to share those locally is really pretty great. I do have to share one more thing that I thought was awesome that I found in my garage. Is I found some badminton rackets. And let me tell you, I haven't played badminton since I was a kid, but it's coming back. It's going to be great.
Those are not on the curb, huh?
These are not going to the curb. No. So it's also been kind of fun. I found like some treasures in my house that I totally forgot about, which is kind of awesome too. So yeah, hold on to stuff if you can. Share it with your neighbors. Please don't go to the transfer station. Those are for essential trips only, and we're closed Sunday through Tuesday anyway. And then special item pickup. If there are big things that you would like to have picked up for recycling, by all means, schedule a pickup with us. That would be awesome.
That's great.
So those were our 2 questions for today, and I wanted to do a really quick follow-up. Last week, Pat and I talked about some things that we were going to try to work on for Earth Day.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrating Earth Day every day. So, Pat, what did you say you were going to work on, and how are you doing?
Yeah, I had said that we have chickens at our house. We have 3 little hens in the backyard, and they're a chicken coop. And when we first got the chickens the first few years, we were really good about diverting items that they would eat to them. And, over time, the convenience of the little green tub on the counter with my little green bag in there, I kind of, just let them eat their chicken food. But now, over the last week, since Earth Day and my retreatment, I've been feeding them a lot more breadcrumbs and, apple cores. I'll chop them up into little bits for them. So it's kind of fun. It's like, it's also just being home a lot. I've just kind of reconnected with our chickens. So, between them and the cats, it's just, there's a lot more, lot more connection that I have with the animals around the house. So, yeah, I did. I got back to the chickens. I got them, more food from the kitchen, the food scraps that don't need to go to composting that have a higher and better use. It's better to feed the livestock than to compost the food.
Cool. How many chickens do you have?
We have three chickens.
Do they have names?
So it's Betty, Jetty, and Mia.
Awesome. Do they seem happier? Do they
Oh,
like their
yeah,
trips?
absolutely. So you were going to do a worm bin, right? Isn't that what you were going
Right. So I was going to do a worm bin, and I
to?
did
Yeah.
find a line on worms from a friend and coworker, though I
Yeah.
have not been able to get over to where she lives to pick some up. But I have that kind of in the background. But not all is lost. Planting the seed of it made me think I've been definitely working in my garden a lot more. So I've been weeding, and then I've got a pile of leaves. So I haven't gone worm bin, but I did go back old school, which you can maybe appreciate. And I started doing the like green, brown compost layered pile.
Layers, yeah, layers.
So I'm not putting food scraps in there, but I got a lot of weeds. I got a lot of vegetative food scraps from my kitchen, the broccoli stems and like the bottom of the lettuce and the tops of the bell peppers. Those are going into my green sandwich for the compost. And then I'm putting those leaves, those pile of leaves that's been on the side of my driveway forever, and kind of layering those together. So I will get to pick up those worms at some point, but I feel pretty good that I started some composting, and you know,
And if,
I think it shows like we got a lot of ideas, and there's, I think just getting started into doing something is
yeah,
probably the most important step.
well, obviously, the most local and within your own self, if you can care for your materials, the better. And you're going to make a great finished grade compost for your garden with that. And if they want information about that, wouldn't they want to go to Tilth Alliance?
They would want to go to the garden hotline. They got lots of
Garden
information on how
Hotline.
to build all kinds of composting systems. And like mine's really, really simple. It's understanding the mix of the different kinds of
Right.
materials to get your compost pile hot and get it moving. But it's really fun. You can make it really complicated, but you can also make it really simple too. So there's lots and lots of ways to manage that on site. So
Good tips. Keep your worms happy and your chickens happy.
exactly. So I'm going to work on the worm bin. We'll keep you updated.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, again, thank you guys for joining us. And we were going to come to you for the month of April. And Pat and I have been having so much fun, and we love coming to talk to you guys. And you guys
Let's
have
keep
so
it
many
going.
great questions. We're going to keep it going.
All
So
right.
we will see you here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, Wednesday, 11:30, Instagram Live. Please send us your questions. Send them to askevelyn@seattle.gov. Send them to us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, please. That would be lovely. And, keep it up, folks.
All right.
Reduce, recycle.
Have a great week, Becca. Thanks a
All
lot.
right. Have a great one, Pat.